Hi guys, Zach here with another Command & Conquer Red Alert video. In this game I'm playing a 3v3 match on the map, the Hills of Eyes. I'm starting in the bottom middle position, playing as the Soviets. Now this is a map I've played quite a bit, and I know I've got quite a few videos on this one. It's quite an unusual map. And I'm playing in the middle of the map as the Soviets, and the Soviets have a very special job on this map, and that's to protect the other teams from civilians, because usually what happens is the other teams play allies, and the reason you need to play Soviets if you're starting in the middle position is because the civilians have a big weakness, and that's dogs. Now, allies could build walls, but I mean, they are effective once you get them up, but it's harder to do it. It usually they cause a bit of damage early on, and it puts you behind the other team. So dogs are generally what's used here. So you can see what I'm doing is I'm spreading the dogs out in different entry points, and what happens is the civilians come at intervals from the middle of the map. And for those who don't know, the civilians are AI controlled. They carry things like nukes, they have Tesla, you have grenadiers, you have ones with machine guns. So there's a few different types of ones, but they can do massive amounts of damage, especially the ones with nukes, because they can like blow up buildings like power plants or refineries, things like that. And I've seen games lost when the bottom teams haven't been defended properly and have like blown up oil refineries and stuff like that, and just put the bottom team way behind. Obviously the top of the map do get some civilians as well. I think there's a few less so seem to get to the top part compared to the bottom. And what I've done now is I'm just getting my economy set up. Now you saw I moved my MCV a bit to the right at the start, and that's because the right ore patch on the right is larger than the ore patch on the left. And I've got a team to the far left, I've got a team to the far right. So I do want the majority of my ore trucks to be on the right ore patch. Because I don't want to use up all the resources on the left. So I'm just going to use 2 ore trucks there and 4 ore trucks on the right, and that'll hopefully give me a good economy. I'm also going to, as you notice, spread out the ore trucks a little bit so they're not all mining from the edges, and that just means the ore tends to last a bit longer that way. And on this map that's especially important because a lot of these matches can end up being a lot longer, so you do have to be a lot more careful with the ore. So ore management is a big factor in this as well. And now I've got my 2 war factories producing, and generally what happens on this map is you do have aftermath units switched on, so I won't get any bonuses after 2 war factories. And just building plenty of power plants. I'm also going to build some Tesla just in case. And there you can see the civilians coming in, and I think I missed a couple there. But yeah, you do have to be very careful. I'm going to just produce a few more dogs. I'm just always careful at the start about how many dogs I do produce, because at the start, you run out of ore if you produce too many dogs, and you can't get the ideal start that you need. I usually build 12 dogs, and now we see our teammate Cyan attacking on the right side of the map. I'm just getting my tank force built up at the moment, and there looks like there's going to be a crate. I'm just taking an infantry to get it, just in case it blows up. Because, yeah, I don't want to obviously lose any tanks for that. And just get a bit more of the map uncovered, because crates can make, like, quite a good difference. And there's I missed another one there. And you can see what I mean about, I nearly made a big mistake there, because you can see my teammate nearly lost his ore refinery because of that. So I'm just going to produce a few more dogs. And my teammate engaging with Pink, who seems to have a big force of destroyers up in that top right. And now you can see that those tanks are located. Oh yeah, and you can see Cyan is going to be defeated by them. But now the problem is that the tanks are up there, and the thing is, when you have the civs don't attack the dogs just eat them. But when you've got like tanks there as well, as soon as the tanks fire, the civs start attacking, and as soon as the civ blows up, it blows all the dogs up. So having the tanks there next to the dogs is a very bad idea, because it's going to mean my dogs are going to get destroyed whenever a civ blows up, and that's going to make things a lot more difficult. But now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start taking my green tanks up north, because I think we're not doing that well on the right side of the map, and it looks like we may be attacked from that side before not too long. And you can see there, the civs have had a crate with an MCV. That's just a... So that red MCV is just from the civilians. It's not anyone else's. It would have been destroyed by the civilians in that position anyway if it had been another team. And now we're going up. We can see those pink cruisers start to fire on us. And that's a bad thing when you don't have control of the right side of the map. And we can see some yellow tanks there. And we've now got full map visibility. And I've just noticed there's a clear route through. And what I'm going to do is, because pink is taking over the right side of the map, I'm going to go for an attack on pink's base. We can also see red there as well. And what we'll do is we'll go for the ore trucks first of all. So just try to take out his economy, so he can't really spend much. So there's one ore truck down, and there's a second. But now you can see the forces of yellow and pink coming in. And I think red was there with some sort of like a helicopter. So that might have been a Tanya, and I did place a Tesla coil in my base. So if he does attack me with so if he does get a Tanya into my base, it will be destroyed hopefully. But now we're having a fight against pink. Let's see what we could do here. We can also see that red is in this top position as well. And my teammate actually bringing a chrono tank in. So doing a bit of damage there. And taking out red's additional MCV. And we still, what we're doing is we're just trying to take control of this ore patch and take and destroy any ore trucks that come in there. So you can see now that pink is he's trying to get the MCV away. He's got some pillboxes there. And yeah, just taking out that tech centre. And we're going to try and destroy red space. And what we're just trying to do is destroy all the things on the right side of the map. And just like take that out. And now I'm just building another Tesla coil in my base, because it does seem like my teammate has been taken out by a Tanya. And we can see another ore refinery there, so we're going to go down there, destroy that ore truck. And hopefully we'll just eliminate basically all of pink's economy. So yeah, you can see there's his other buildings, he's selling them up. So he's retreating from the right side of the map. Yeah, and I think because he had an MCV that got away, selling the buildings is good, because when you sell buildings, you don't need a silo to store that money. So let's say you had 5k ore stored up. As soon as your ore refineries and silos are destroyed, you lose that. Because you have nothing to store money. But for some reason, when you sell buildings, it doesn't require a silo to keep the resources. So if you want to have money when you get to the other side of the map, that's the only way to do it. Unless you have unspent resources from the start, because you're starting 10k, you don't need a silo for either. And you can see I've lost an ore refinery on the bottom of the map, so I'm going to have to rebuild that. I'm just making sure I've got Tesla. I think it might have been destroyed either by civilians or by a Tanya. And you can see there, that's annoying. So our teammates just put an ore refinery down where my old ore refinery is, so I'm going to have to place it in a less ideal position. And you can see red there with some infantry trying to take out that power plant. At least I have plenty of power, and I think it's just going to survive, so thankfully I'm going to be okay. At least he's got a gap generator there now. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take some tanks to the top of the map. I'm probably going to have to sell those buildings there and just get my ore refinery in a suitable position. My teammate's got a gap generator there, so at least my middle base is going to be partially covered. And now I'm going to take my tanks to the top side of the map and try and launch an attack on red and yellow. Last time it didn't look like red had that many forces available, but we still have those pink ships located on the right there, so I'll have to bring my tanks up as quickly as possible because they do provide damage. But you can see that red now has quite a big army of heavy tanks. And yeah, I'm just trying to... yeah, this is making things tricky, actually, because there's not much I can do here. So we're going to avoid a fight here against red. Let's see if we can micro our heavy tanks around a little bit and whittle that army force down. But you can see yellow coming for the backup as well behind. And he's also got some missile launchers which have a bit of range. So if it was red on his own, I think we'd be able to get through. But it's going to make it very tricky, yellow being there as well. We'll just have to try and whittle those forces down and see if there's anything else we could do to get anywhere else. I think, yeah, I mean, the issue is, if I'd been playing allies, I thought, yeah, you probably could have done like a, I guess, a chronosphere to the like top right of the map and set up a base there. It's just for me, if I wanted to get an MCV, I've got an MCV which I can use on the, I mean, bottom right, but they've got boat control with pink. So what I'd want, if I was playing as the allies, what I'd want to do is I'd want to chronosphere to the top right position and start using that ore patch in the top right, because the one who controls the most ore usually is the team that wins. And what I can see from red, yellow and pink all being located in that middle section, and is that if they all use the same ore patches, oh, and yeah, I've just misjudged that. Those cruisers doing a lot of damage even from far range, and that's just, yeah, not good, of course. Just might do a paradrop here, try and do a little bit of damage. Let's see if we can take out this ore refinery. Is he going to know? Yeah, ooh, I thought he'd noticed there. Let's see if, I think he has now. Yeah, you can see those, that ore truck coming towards me with those two infantry, but unfortunately I don't, yeah, he's going to be able to destroy it before we're able to take it down. It's going to heal up anyway now, so unfortunately that's not good.
Unit ready.
But
Building.
yeah, just building another large power plant now.
Building. Insufficient funds.
And yeah, I'm going to have to take my tank forces for another attack.
Unit ready.
And what I'm doing is I'm just making sure at the same time that my base is well defended. So yeah, we'll try and take this tank force back up there. I can see that there doesn't seem to be that many tanks there this time. They'll probably bring them as soon as they see my tanks going up though. So we'll have to see if they notice. If they don't notice, I could... actually, is that... have they been attacked elsewhere? It does look like they have a lot of Tesla though, so that might be problematic. So now we're going to go on the attack, and let's see if we can do any damage here. We've got some Tesla there, and now the red tanks start to roll in. Oh yeah, you can see there's like loads of Tesla there. That's going to be very hard to get through. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try and sort of like get up this side and just try and stay out of range as much as possible. But you can see those Tesla numbers now are pretty critical, and that's what makes this really hard now, because we don't have the water on the right side. Also seeing some transport helicopters there with Tanya, so it's a good thing that my base has a lot of Teslas in. There's no way Red's going to get through that. But now just taking my tanks up to the top a little bit, but yeah, this is very frustrating. There's something I'm going to have to, yeah, I don't know what to try and do here. We'll try and take out those couple of red tanks though, and try and take out some essential buildings. Although there's not really much good up here. What I might do is try and go across the map, see if I can get some damage on pink, at least. But you can see that the ore patches are starting to run out a little bit, but obviously the team's just going to start building on the top right position now.
Unit ready.
And you can see there's also a Tesla quite near there, so I've got these tanks here. Let's see if we can take damage that pink MCV. Obviously, pink has taken that MCV away now. And I've just got those couple of tanks attacking the top left. So what I'm trying to do now is I'm going to try and bring some Tanya on my own, see if they can do anything. But my tank's been taken out in that top left position before they could do any damage to that pink force. So what I'm going to have to try and do is I'm going to have to try and go up the other side, see if there's any way I can get into the top left of the map. Now the top left is really not the ideal route to go through. And the reason is it's because of the tracking in this game. It's very hard for your tanks to track through. So you'll see me try and go through the top left. We'll have to see if it does work. But I'm not sure it'll be. And you can see also yellow is a little base there, so we'll need to destroy that. So we'll see how this goes. Hopefully it will be okay. But you can see now he's trying to get submarines there. And what blue needs to do is just get a bit of a navy. A little navy there just to stop that. Because that's going to become very problematic if they get water control on the left side of the map as well. And now just destroying that for yellow. Because yellow, I guess if we get missile subs, that would be a problem. Because aftermath units, as I've said, is switched on. So that they could do a lot of damage. And now we're getting our tanks. And what we're trying to do is just get them into this left part of the map. And you can just see me just trying to... Yeah, it's not doing too badly actually this time. It's because yellow doesn't have his tanks like blocking the exit. Otherwise, some of the tanks try to go up the right side. Some of them try to go up the left side. But now you can see that blue is with me. We'll have to see if this attack force is going to work. But now you can see that red has gone down the middle of the map while I wasn't paying attention. So while I've been focused on attacking on the left side, you can see he's going down the right side. So I'm going to have to just focus on this tank force and do as much damage as I can. And now bring my tanks here to defend against red. But you can see we're getting some good auto kills here. And those auto-trucks some of those auto-trucks getting taken out for yellow. You can also see though that pink has an army built up once again. And he's going to help protect his teammate here. Because yellow doesn't have many tanks. And... yeah, pink, we're just trying to destroy as many of those tanks, but it looks like pink has good enough numbers here. And also yellow has some Tesla, which is going to make this especially hard. And you can see now red going down the right side of the map. He does have the superior tank numbers to my base, and he's going to be able to destroy some of that economy. And you can see even though those ore resources are running out on the left side of the top left of the map, they've also got control of the top right, where the ore has had a chance to fully regrow. So that's not looking good at all. We're getting attacked by red on the right side. He has a superior tank force. I don't know whether he'll be able to destroy our base on this occasion because we do have some Tesla. And we've also seen it to micro our tanks well. But it does look like there's not much really we can do here, unfortunately. And we can see those red tanks now being pulled back to the bottom right of the map. I don't know whether I'll try and go around the bottom. And I'm just having to think of what I could do here. Do I try and go for a Tanya? But they've got too many Teslas, so I don't think a Tanya would work. Or what I could do is while because red took a massive tanks down south, I might try and go up north with these tanks and do a counterattack. And you can also see pink now getting a base in the bottom right. So yeah, it's a bit unfortunate. That's how I'm going to go for a last-ditch attempt. Hopefully try and take out some buildings of red. Because if we get, like, one of the teams out, that'll give us, like, I guess a tiny chance. Yeah, I'm just waiting for that Tesla to be built. I've had my economy's taken a hammering. And those civs coming out at the wrong time for me. And you can see now red has a big tank force to defend. So he's been able to build up his tank force. His tank forces while I've been there. I've got civs coming in behind me. And this is a disaster of a counter-offensive. Just trying to squash some of them and just save some of my tanks. But you can see I'm going to take quite a bit of damage from these civs. There was that one that blew up as well. And there's absolutely no way I'm getting through that. We could also see pink now. But blue is going for the attack on the left side. So it might be an idea for me to try and join him in the attack there. So just putting that Tesla at the bottom because red was there. We can still see him in the bottom of the map, just waiting for an opportunity to attack my base. And you can see those blue tanks going in, but unfortunately those blue tanks are going to be taken out. And now we've got cruisers firing on our tanks from the right side of the map. So that's pink bringing his cruisers right to the left of that water. And the thing now is they're going to have control of that ore patch to the right of my base because he's got cruisers firing on it. So it definitely is good game. So yeah, you can see the cruisers are there. So we're going to be limited to that small ore patch to the left of my base. And it is completely over. They have too much map control, the forces are too large, the bases are too well defended, and it's an unwinnable position, which is why I've just sold up and out of this game. Now, there were some areas of this game I do think that if I'd changed, maybe, we could have possibly won it. I think at the start, obviously, there was that pink MCV that ran away, and maybe if I'd gone for that MCV, I might have been able to take it out, possibly, before, and still, I don't know, destroyed the other buildings on the right side. I'm not sure what would have happened there. There was also that Red's base was undefended at the start, because what Red did, I think, at the start, was he focused on Tanya's, and I think that's how he took out my teammate in the bottom right. Now, what might have been an idea was to go for Red's vital buildings, like his construction yard, his ore refineries, and taking them out, and then gone for the attack on Pink. And what I was worried about, though, at that point in time was that Pink was going to go down to the bottom of the map with tanks and attack my base. So I saw Pink as the biggest threat. And he is a well-known player. Now, Red, although he didn't do well, although he was undefended at the start, I probably underestimated him a little bit. When I saw his base undefended, I thought it was probably going to be easy to destroy later on in the game. But then he did get a lot of tanks. He got Tesla and had a really well-defended base. He also did a counterattack on my base later on in the game. So he did some good defending, he did some damage, and it just made things too hard for us. And Red and Yellow, we weren't able to break through their forces. And then Pink was able to build back up, and when Pink built back up, then it was pretty much game over. Pink got map control again, and yeah, that's basically how the game went. And you can see now Blue's just obviously saw in a matter of time before Pink, Red and Yellow destroy Blue's base. But yeah, just losing that teammate early on really affected our chances. And one of the big things that we lost in this game was the water control on the right side of the map. If there'd been no Pink, and that's what I'm saying about the Pink MCV, if I'd been able to destroy all of Pink's buildings and chase that MCV down, then the water control wouldn't have been there on the right side of the map, and we would have been able to take an MCV into the top right position and start building up there. Anyway, that was that game, so thank you for watching, hope you enjoyed the video.